Hey everybody, High Flyers Tag Team back here with another new video again today. In today's video we'll be discussing the brand new Playmates Burning 1995 Godzilla. Which, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Playmates blew it out of the park with this one, it seems, so far. Just from my first impressions. I was not able to get the Jet Jaguar, sadly. As you see, the tail can easily pop right in. I was not able to find the Jet. I could only find this one, but I am not necessarily disappointed, because this guy is pretty cool in his own right. So yeah, let's go on ahead and begin. So, right off the bat, I just want to say this guy is a step up from most of their previous classic line. They're finally getting to do stuff they said they wanted to do. You can tell this guy is made out of some more softer plastic. It doesn't feel like vinyl. The head's definitely vinyl. If you guys can see right there, it can open and close, and the head's kind of squishy, but everywhere else feels a little bit harder. They said they did want to start using vinyl though, and I mean there are spots on this where it definitely feels kind of softer, but I can definitely, I wouldn't be shocked if this is complete vinyl, and this is definitely not a rip-off of any of the other Bandai figures. This is a completely unique figure, which we know from the Toho Kingdom interview that they were going to do more original sculpts and stuff because their deal with Bandai's done now, so they have more freedom. Because we know that their first wave, they didn't have that much freedom with it due to some deal with Bandai. They kind of had to use Bandai's molds for all their figures and stuff. So let's go ahead and check this guy out, because this guy is a huge step in the right direction. He's great. This gives me a lot more faith in Playmates this future. And I think it should everyone else too. We'll talk about the pros and cons. There's plenty of good stuff with this guy. So let's go and begin. So first up, for articulation, as you guys can see, the arm can do 360s. The head can completely 360 rotate. This arm can 360 if you push it. That's up to you if you want to test your luck there though. The leg right here, 360, no ankle articulation. And another 360, no ankle articulation, and the tail can do a 360 as well. So a decent amount of articulation. Nothing like, it's like about as much, if not more, than most Bandai figures. With this guy, with the paint, now for burning accuracy here, now the sculpt itself is amazing. I think the sculpt here is really good. I think this is a great sculpt that they went with. I do have some stuff that's weird. They always do these unique poses and stuff. They did this with Gigan too, or one of the arms in the thing. But they just don't want their figures to be generic, so they do dynamic stuff with them. So this arm's in like a weird swatting kind of pose, while this arm's kind of just normal. But the legs this time aren't one where isn't necessarily you have to have one out farther than the other. The stand straight. It's slightly out, but it's not as bad as like some of the other figures where one leg would have to be like this just for it to even stand up straight. So I'm glad they quit doing that. I know the Jet has that issue, but I'm glad this one doesn't. The paint, at least on the body, it isn't the best. It's not the most accurate, but Playmates has always had an issue with that. This is one department they need to improve in. They do need to fix their paint issue. It's just mostly here on the chest and stuff. They could have added more paint. I don't know why they went with this lighter paint. But for their first attempt for a Heisei Godzilla, God, the sculpt is really good. I'm, again, very impressed. The eyes don't look too bad. The face, if you guys can tell there, the face looks pretty good from the front. It looks pretty accurate. You can actually see individual teeth. Get it closer. You guys can see there, you can actually see individual teeth, which is a huge thing I was kind of surprised about. Not like they're separated teeth, but the paint, it's not like just complete, they just did white across it like Space Godzilla. Like, they actually added some details so you can actually tell there's multiple teeth there. The back paint is pretty good. Each dorsal plate's painted, and as you get down here in the tail, they actually painted each of these gray. Surprisingly, they didn't just make it black like the Bandai figure I have. They actually kept going with paint. They didn't just stop right there, and that's very great. I do love that. So I do think this guy is a huge step in the right direction. So I got a few comparisons to do. First up, let's compare it to Playmates' Destroya right here. So shockingly, He's quite a bit bigger than Destroya. I'm kind of surprised by that. He actually somewhat towers over Destroya. Again, this figure's from when they had their deal with Bandai, so there is a chance that something's wrong with that. I know they like to do like 6.5 inch figures, so I don't know, but they don't necessarily scale that well. Like you can see, like, I don't know if you guys can tell because the angle of my phone, but the burning is quite a bit bigger. So yeah, these two don't necessarily scale that well together. I would have to see how the Bandai one does, but I do have another figure for comparison. And I believe this is the Bandai Creations. I'm sorry if I'm wrong here, but I believe this is the Bandai Creations Burning Godzilla. I'm going to say out of the two of these right now, accuracy-wise, definitely Playmates won this. I don't have any other Bandai figures, but this one's definitely way more accurate to the actual suit. This one somewhat has a better paint job. I mean, they got the paint on the chest and body a lot more correct. This one is a bit lazier. They did, as you guys can see, they quit painting as you go down the tail, they quit painting the dorsal plates, while this one, like I said, the whole row paints them. So you can tell right there, like, yeah, he did that. And both have the somewhat dynamic positions, but honestly here, out of these two figures, I think Playmates might have won this round. I'm not going to lie. He's obviously a bit taller too, because he's a quite a bit tall figure, but yeah, honestly, I think the Playmates does look better overall. Just better paint. If Playmates could fix their paint issue now, because they're getting better sculpts now, we're getting better sculpts, better kind of poses and stuff, better, they're starting to use like vinyl, the figures are a lot more accurate. All we need now, the only other thing they need to fix is paint. And it's weird that they would kind of go like with this paint job when they're willing to actually paint the individual dorsal plates on the tail. But until they do that, these figures won't be perfect. But as soon as they start giving us better paint jobs, I mean, like really good ones, not that this one's horrible, I mean, they do good and bad things with it. These figures are going to be amazing. I see so much potential. They are getting better and better as we go. I thought Final Wars, although a lot of people would disagree, I thought Final Wars was a great step in the right direction. Not necessarily because the figure was really good or anything, but because of the fact that they were starting to take some of that like advice. They were starting to use vinyl. They were starting, you know, that you could tell they were starting to be more original with their molds. I don't really necessarily blame them for their first line, but yeah, all these two figures, I would definitely recommend getting the Playmates. And if you're good at repainting, geez, I'm telling you, I've seen some repaints of this guy, and whew, I would say it's really good. The only other paint-wise thing that the Bandai wins here is they actually painted the claws and toes, which this one didn't. I haven't seen the suit in a while, so I don't know if the claws and toes are actually painted on the suit or if they're black. They're probably painted. It's another one of those weird things where they're willing to paint the tail, but they're not willing to paint the claws and stuff. It's very weird. But overall, I do highly recommend this guy. I think they did a great job with him. It's the step in the right direction. And these are the figures we should be supporting. If you guys want more quality like this, where they're going in the right direction, this is what you should be buying. Not the stuff like, you know, not the Shin Godzilla. This guy and Jet, once I get him, because I'm assuming he's going to be great in person, this is the step in the right direction. Playmates stepping up their game. What do you guys think of this guy, though? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, please share, subscribe. And I hope everyone has a great day. And as always, peace out and bye-bye.